morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. All right. Good morning.
Stop mistreating Uncle Lou!
Good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. Man, I sure do appreciate it all. So in addition to that as well, this is the morning show with me, Uncle Lou, and BVD. He'll be joining us here in just a minute. And a special guest today is going to be BADDOG. We usually have a third person on almost every day. And today is no different. Yeah. Good morning, BVD.
Hey, man, you heard the good news?
What?
BADDOG. BADDOG's going to be on the show
Yeah,
today.
BADDOG coming on today, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. I need him to tell me how many quarterbacks are getting drafted ahead of Jack Fromm. 5, 6, or 7?
None.
Oh shit.
Jack Fromm's going to be the first player taken in the draft.
Stop.
Just based on his name alone.
Stop. I can't decide if he's going to be the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th quarterback taken. Need BADDOG to help me. I know he's going to be like the 4th, probably the 4th Georgia player taken. But I don't know. No point talking about that now. We're idiots when it comes to that. Got to get BADDOG on and see if he thinks he's going to get his man. He wants Isaiah Simmons at sort of a hybrid player for Clemson. He can be defensive end, linebacker, safety. He's a jack of all trades.
Isaiah Simmons could very well determine the future health of BADDOG.
It's
you saw last year's draft.
Man, he lost his mind when they drafted Daniel Jones.
Yeah, now look at him. Look at him.
Now he's a cheerleader for Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Going to have to ask him about that.
Tried to tell him last year, but he didn't believe me.
I'm going to have to ask him. People sleeping on Daniel Jones because he went to Duke.
Yeah. I mean, the kid's smart right out of the gate.
Some people think the NFL cares who somebody played for.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember? Can you tell me? Well, you might be able to, but can you tell me who Jerry Rice played for?
Southwest Missouri State or Southwest
So,
Valley State, something like that.
one of them directional schools.
Yeah, well, FCS team, I believe.
I guarantee you, Bad Dog could tell us.
Brett Favre too, didn't
Yeah, I bet Brett Favre played for one of them directional Mississippi schools.
he? Yeah, not Last Chance U though.
No scuba diving for old Brett Favre.
Brett Favre did have a lot of problems though when he first got in the NFL.
Yeah, he had a lot of problems when he came out too, didn't he? Didn't he come out? Didn't he have a pill problem at some point?
I don't know.
Not that I wouldn't know anything about that, but
that's Atlanta's excuse for giving away the best player they ever drafted. Well,
hey, it happens.
He had a drinking problem. Yeah, well, you had a winning problem.
That's a bad problem to have in the NFL, isn't it?
Might should have kept Brett Favre instead of what the hell you had back then. Anyway,
what did they end up with?
I don't know. We'll ask Bad Dog. He knows everything. But yeah, good morning and that though. This is the Uncle, or this is the morning show. This is the Uncle show with Uncle Morning and
BVD Lou.
Yeah, this is the morning show with Lou and BVD. You guys know we do this show Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Appreciate all y'all tuning in this morning. We're gonna have a good time today with Bad Dog. I might have to wrap things up a little earlier than normal today, but anyway, we'll see about that when the time gets here. But anyway, so we're going to add Bad Dog here pretty soon instead of wasting like 20 minutes like we normally do, or 30 minutes even. Or you know how normally the show's almost over and then you have to remind me to call the guest?
Yeah, that useless babble that we go through every morning.
Right. We're only going to do a little bit of that useless babble today and that. So, but BVD finished Ozark last night. I saw in the comments
actually,
section.
I did not.
Oh.
I only made it through the 7th episode of season 3.
Okay. So
I put the brakes on, man. I started getting too sad.
So BVD is going to be finishing the final season of Ozark later today.
Yeah.
Uncle Lou is still stuck on like episode 5 or 6 of season 1, but I'm hoping maybe with the weekend coming, maybe me and Mrs. Lou will get a see, some shows I watch Miss Lou's not interested in, and so maybe I can catch a few episodes while she's not able to watch or whatever. But when we find one that we both are watching, it takes us longer to watch it because like she you know, like she might have watched an episode last night normally, but I was out here doing the show, so it takes us longer to watch a show when it's one that we both watch like that. But there's not a whole lot that we both really get into. So when we find one, we try to, we try to stick together. I try not to watch it without her. She doesn't watch it without me. Every once in a while, one of us will get like one episode ahead if we're just really bored, and then we'll just wait for the other one to catch up. But right now we're both on the same episode. So
this is one of those shows for me. Like if I was watching it with someone and I got couple episodes ahead of them, I wouldn't mind watching it again. One of those episodes where you miss something. You can miss something every episode and go back and rewatch it and catch something new.
Well, you just want to rewatch the strip club episodes.
That's true.
Yeah.
They got pretty eyes.
I still can't believe that. I'm going to tell Bad Dog about that.
He was here yesterday morning. He gave me shit about it too.
Yeah, I want to give him an opportunity to mock you verbally, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't you miss that? I mean, I listen. Bad Dog sort of saw the same writing on the wall that I did, but Bad Dog could trash talk like no other.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah. The thing with that TCC, the TTC was fun, and I think it serves a purpose. I mean, it gets someone who's unknown totally on YouTube can immediately have several hundred subscribers. It's a great group. I'm not knocking that group, but you really limit yourself. Once you get to a certain point, you really limit yourself if you confine yourself to that. So Bad Dog figured that out, and he's doing amazing. So
yeah, there's still a few stragglers that haven't figured that out yet.
Well, most of the ones that haven't figured it out don't want to or aren't capable of.
Right.
I mean, what is 8 Camel Toes gonna do? Come on.
What's 8 Camel Toes what now?
What's he going to do other than what he's doing now? Nothing.
Oh, 8 Camel Toes is a music channel, remember?
You know what's funny to me about him is people do like it when he goes off on people, but You know the expression "jumping the shark" from Happy Days. Anyway, it's so obvious now that he's not even mad. He just but he just picks someone and then he just makes himself mad at them just so he can rant about them for a week and a half, because without that he would have nothing. It's really sad. It's really sad to see.
You seen the new and improved camel toes?
You know, I don't no.
Clean shaven.
Well, I saw him shave. So hell, I streamed it on here. So
Still haven't figured out how a guy with a beard doesn't know how to use a pair of clippers correctly.
It's just a filthy individual right there.
If you're watching camel toes, I'm doing clipper seminars every weekend now.
If you're watching, and we're pretty sure that you are.
But we know who's not watching.
Oh, he never watches, but he somehow knows everything that happens here. And it's been that way for years. It's been that way for years. Anyway, shout out to everybody for joining us this morning. Let's see who's in here. Snake Spence, what's up, buddy? Snake Spence is almost always the first one here with a giant dub. Thank you, sir. Christy, Rob, speaking of dub, Rob W. Celine Driver, Waikiki, what's up, buddy? Bad Dog, we're going to call you here in just a second, sir. Goose Sports, Ballard is here. Christy, Melissa May, Ken AV Guy, good morning. What happened to my buddy, Mr. Anderson?
Is Ken a V guy or is Ken an AV guy? We need to get Ken on here.
Reckon
someday.
he's an audiovisual guy since the A and the V are capitalized. I'm
That's what
guessing.
one would think.
Well, more than
That's what
one.
one would think.
There's at least two.
Yeah.
Me and you. So.
Hashtag professional.
Yeah. Hashtag
Speaking of hashtag
ain't got no guy in my room.
Have you not gotten something from Amazon yet?
Oh, God. You know what? I'm not going to lie. We got like 11 boxes yesterday, and like it gave me a panic attack. So I just left them sitting there.
Lou might have to do an unboxing video.
Oh, God. When'd you send me? A pizza?
Yeah.
Amazon delivering pizza now?
I sent you a round.
Oh, some of that old high school pizza, that Mexican pizza. Oh,
round pizza in a square box.
Thank you. Oh man, that would be great. That would be great. Anyway,
we'll give Bad Dog a call.
Yeah, we're gonna call Bad Dog. I want to talk some NFL today, so click off now. Those of you who I don't like the NFL. Well, you know, I forgot to take a poll this morning and pick something to talk about that 100% of the people like. So that's what that is. But let me call Bad Dog though and also
in lieu of
not calling him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Oh, hey, yeah, let me add BVD back though. Man, this is great. Yeah, you there, BVD?
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked again. Bad Dog's here.
And look, Bad Dog.
I think.
Good morning,
Yeah,
BBD. My two favorite potatoes, right here.
Yeah, man, we got to figure out a way to do a four-way call so we can get Bad Dog's mafia impersonator friend on too.
Yeah, DWG, my boy.
Yeah. Anyway, what you up to this morning, sir?
There's another day in paradise, man.
Yeah.
Living the dream one nightmare at a time. That's what we do.
You having to work?
Got your morning workout in?
I don't do that until like 4 o'clock, BBD. I have to work during the day, but today's Good Friday, so we're good.
You working from home?
I am. I've been working from home for like 3 weeks now.
Okay.
It's driving me insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not nearly as insane as it's probably driving Mrs. Bad Dog.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I do that on a daily basis anyway, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, you're just doing your job correctly then, so
that's
good on you.
Man, I sure am glad we have you on. I'm so tired of not knowing all these answers to the draft. I'm ready to know all these answers now.
What I can do for you.
Now,
This is the point where Uncle Lou and I could just say, Bad Dog, tell us about the NFL draft, and Lou and I could shut up for the next hour.
yeah, we really could. If anyone doesn't know, I think everyone here knows you by now. Bad Dog's a huge New York Giants fan, also an Oklahoma Sooners fan, though. So he is a college football fan too. We're gonna probably talk mostly NFL today, though. Subscribe to him if you're. I think most of you probably are, but subscribe to him if you're not. He was commenting in the comment section right before I called him. So just click his account name. That's the easiest way to do it. Just touch his account name or click on it or whatever, and go to his channel and sub him up, but you won't regret it. Now, I have a good feeling, Bad Dog, that you're going to get your guy this year. Do you?
Supposedly they're leaning towards Simmons, but we need a left tackle really bad too. So I think it's 50-50.
Yeah. Isaiah Simmons is an animal, but now what position would he play for the Giants? Because he really doesn't have a position. Is that a concern too? By the way.
Well, for me, I mean, Joe Judge has pretty much come out and said the Giants aren't going to run a particular scheme. It'll depend on their opponent, which I like. So, he could play some inside linebacker, middle, money back. He's just really versatile. So he can do a lot of different things. He plays 3 levels of defense, which I love. We need defense back here in New York. And it's fun. The fan base is split, 50-50 as far as wanting a left tackle to protect Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. And, the other half wants defense back. So I'll be happy either way. I just, I grew up in the 80s. Giants are all about defense, ran a 3-4, had some of the greatest linebackers in the history of the game. I'm ready to get back to that type of Giants football.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's just nothing exciting about an offensive lineman yet. So a lot of the, I hear a lot of the Giants fans know they need a left tackle, but a lot of fans get disappointed when their teams draft an offensive lineman high in the first round because it's usually not a flashy name. A lot of times it's somebody you never even heard of until your team drafted them or whatever. But left tackle especially, I mean, without one you can pretty much hang it up. I mean, assuming you have a right-handed quarterback. But okay, most people would I think say that quarterback is probably the most important position on an NFL team. But what do you think is the second most important? Is it left tackle? Is it a lockdown corner? Is it a rush end? What do you think is the second most important position in the NFL?
Weak side protector is definitely very important. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Right.
I think that is definitely one of the most important positions there is, and then probably your edge rushers, I would say, are next. But yeah, your blind side protector is incredibly important because they're protecting your biggest asset, which is the quarterback. So that is definitely a very important position. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So assuming the Giants then, with their first 2 picks, go defense and left tackle in some particular order, who are some other names outside of those 2 positions that you hope or you have heard that the Giants might be looking at?
Well, when I've done the mocks, my mock draft for the Giants, I really like, we need a center really bad. So in the second round, I said no matter where we go in the first round, go out there, get Cesar Ruiz from Michigan. I think he's the best, center in the draft. Or Lloyd Cushenberry. One of those 2 guys, Cesar Ruiz or Lloyd Cushenberry. Man, we need a center really bad. Jalapeno was a disaster last year. They have Spencer Pulley there this year. So, instead of getting the 7th, if they decide to go defense, getting the 6th or 7th best left tackle in the second round, just get the best center in the second round and be done with it.
And offensively, other than left tackle and center, well, what about skill positions? You got your quarterback, you got running back too, Saquon Barkley. Who is, I probably can't name one Giants wide receiver. They still have that. Didn't they have a guy from Oklahoma? What was his name?
Sterling Shepard. He is still there.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
He's still there. He's had concussion issues, so he's been disappointing. He was so good at OU, and I was so excited when we drafted him. But he's been a bit of a disappointment. I can't lie.
Let me ask you this, since we're mentioning wide receivers: Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb? Now I know you're an Oklahoma fan, but so who's better, and then who do you think gets picked first?
I mean, you really honestly could put them in a hat and pick one out. I think they're that close. Judy's a little faster. They're about the same size. They're both great route runners. Both have great hands. But I'll tell you, CeeDee Lamb's catch radius is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's made some Odell Beckham type of catch. I mean, he's ridiculous. I love them both. But they're 1 and 1A. But I'm a Sooner fan, so of course I'm going to say CeeDee Lamb. His brother DVD Lamb's not bad either. I don't know if you guys have caught film on him.
And well, BVD. Well, what's up with your Cardinals now? Are they drafting? What quarterback are they drafting with their first pick?
Yeah, I think we're set at the quarterback position. We need an offensive lineman. We need linemen, period. But we need offensive linemen big time.
Well, y'all need a lot of
Bad Dog's got an opinion on who the Cardinals are going to take. We've talked a little bit about that. Who you got us picking?
Jedrick Wills.
Big boy from Tuscaloosa, right? Yes,
sir.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not enough Bama players to go around in the NFL draft. Nobody ever drafts any Bama players anymore. So
he's an offensive tackle, right?
Yeah, right tackle.
Okay. Interesting. Now
we need everything.
Well, hold on because this might be a long-winded answer, and it might be an even more longer-winded response from me. So before I ask this next one here, let me get to these PayPals here. Appreciate you, Celine Driver. Thanks for hitting that PayPal link, sir. Says, good morning, Annette. Glad to wake up without pain today. Yeah, it's always good. Here to be entertained and support my favorite professional dummies.
How dare Celine Driver call our guest a dummy today, Lou?
And how dare he refer to us as professional?
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, he says, as for Fromm, my prediction is he's an undrafted free agent and ends up on a practice squad. Sorry, but he's not a National Felons League QB. Yeah, there's zero chance he goes undrafted, though. But anyway, that was my next question, was going to be about Fromm. But let me read one more here. Now, this is from I think this is from Waikiki. He says, I've been working nights because of the COVID virus and haven't been able to watch y'all live. I miss you guys and the shows. Keep doing what you're doing, gentlemen. I'm calling it a night. Sleep good, sir. My dad used to work night shift all the time, so I know how that can
rough
be.
Shift.
Yeah, get you some rest. All right, Bad Dog. Now, I can't tell if that guy was kidding or not. He's a Florida fan, so he clearly hates Fromm because you can't beat him. Florida's winless. Florida will never beat Fromm. How does that feel, Celine Driver? So, you will never beat him, sir. He beat you every single year. But my question is this. Will there be 5, 6, or 7 QBs taken ahead of Fromm?
6.
All right, I'm going to try to name them. Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Jordan Love. This is where it gets tricky to me. I'm going to say Jacob Eason.
Yep.
Now, my guess for the next one that you think would be ahead of Fromm, Jalen Hurts?
You're good, man.
Okay.
That is exactly the 6 I have going ahead of him.
Yeah. I'm not convinced Hurts will go ahead of Fromm. I think it'll be close between those two, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I do think there'll be 5, 6, or 7, because maybe even Kelly Bryant. Probably not Kelly Bryant. Hurts has a better chance of getting drafted ahead of Fromm than Kelly Bryant does. But
Bad Dog, in your mock draft, did you do all 7 rounds or whatever it is, or did you just do the first round?
Just for the Giants. I just
okay.
Far I've done mock drafts just for the Giants. When I go and do the mock draft for the NFL, I'm just going to do the first round. I'm not doing 7 rounds. I ain't got that kind of time. I don't have anybody. That would take all day.
I purposely sought out a full mock draft last night for today's show, so I could see where some people had Fromm going, and a lot of people have him going to New England. And I guess it's the top of the beginning of the 4th round. It's like the 96th or 97th pick, something like that, wherever New England picks around there. What is their plan? Are they really going to start Jared Stidbaloney this year coming up?
I think they're going to have to unless they decide to make
What a disaster.
a move and go after Cam Newton or Jameis Winston. I mean, those guys are still out there. But other than that, they're going to have to start with Stidham. I don't know where else they're going to go.
What a disaster that's going to be to have to go from Tom Brady to Jared Stidbaloney. That's just, I mean, that's insane. Now, this might not be a fair question because even though I know you're an NFL guru, how many Georgia players? I think there'll be 3 or 4 Georgia players drafted even ahead of Fromm. And of course, DeAndre Swift and Andrew Thomas are likely to go in the first round, I think. But I think a couple more Georgia offensive linemen could go before Fromm ever gets picked too. Maybe Isaiah Wilson, a tackle, maybe Solomon Kinley. So, I mean, I think it'll be a good draft overall for Georgia. I just think a lot of the here's one for you, BVD. A lot of the Fromm nut huggers, I think are going to be disappointed because I'm in these groups and I still see people saying, end of the first round, beginning of the second round for Fromm, and I just
absolutely
don't see it.
Zero chance of that.
I mean,
I would think.
Yeah, I do think he'll get drafted. I think he deserves to get drafted. I would be surprised if he ever started an NFL game unless it's in the middle of a season due to some type of an injury, but I do think he will get an opportunity on a team. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him hang around, maybe even longer than like an Aaron Murray or somebody like that. But I just don't think he's got what it takes to start in the NFL. I'm sorry, I just don't.
He could end up being one of those guys that surprises you. I mean, I wouldn't look for it or anticipate that, but you just never know anymore.
And BVD, you're sure, because I know you said you had Sterling Shepard, and that's great, but you mentioned the concussions. You're sure the Giants don't need to go out and get Jawan Jennings, wide receiver, Tennessee?
If I was GM for the Arizona Cardinals, he would be first on my draft board. Just because he's that good, and he can play quarterback too. So if Kyler, God forbid, goes down, they could always stick Juwan in there at quarterback. The bad dog. Do you even know who we're talking about?
Juwan Jennings?
Yeah. You think he gets drafted?
I think he could get drafted.
Very late.
Yep.
Very late. The guy.
Yeah, he's probably definitely a late first rounder there.
Oh my God! Stop it. Just stop it.
But, I mean, you guys just picked up D-Hop, so you're fine at wide receiver.
Yeah, we're set.
Yeah, what are the Texans and the Rams up to? Are they trying to lose for some reason?
I have no idea how Bill O'Brien still has his job in Houston. I can't figure this out. They trade away D-Hop for a second-round pick, and then they go out and they trade for Brandon Cooks, who has concussion problems and makes a fortune. And they could have got a receiver in the second round that's just as good as Brandon Cooks. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Chase Claypool could fall to them. They could probably grab Michael Pittman if they chose to. Maybe T. I don't think T. Higgins would fall to them in the second round. But the wide receiver class is so deep this year that I don't know what the hell Bill O'Brien's doing. I really don't.
Hopkins, he's not one of those head case guys. He doesn't stir up a lot of shit, does he? I mean, he's pretty. I mean, he's not going to be one of these guys that's hard to handle off the field, is he?
No, Hopkins is good. Hopkins is one of those a rare wide receiver that's great, isn't a diva. He and Julio Jones are like the two guys you really ain't got to worry about.
I know he's got unbelievable hands. The guy almost never drops a catch.
No, he's awesome. That was a great trade for you guys. I think you guys are making the playoffs this year. I honestly do.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Not just because I'm a Cardinals fan.
Whoa. Stop it. You sound like those people last year talking about the Cleveland Browns.
I'll tell you, they're putting together a team really good. I mean, they improved a lot last year. I think Kyler Murray takes a big step forward. And
a lot of close losses last year, too.
Yep, I do. I think it was a good draft. They're right there. They do play in a tough division, but I think the Cardinals are a sleeper to make the playoffs.
With all due respect, because that's the kind of guy I am.
Yeah,
I expect Kyler Murray to potentially get folded up like a lawn chair every single time he takes a snap.
If he was a statue quarterback, I would agree with you.
Well,
But he's
the reason I think,
escapability.
well, that's why I think he's going to get folded up. I don't see that guy lasting very long. I'm sorry, I just don't. He better learn to be a statue. But anyway, let me stop ragging on the Cardinals for no reason. Well, there's plenty of reason. But speaking of the Texans, though, are they the most disappointing team in the NFL the last 2 years?
Oh, absolutely. That again, that goes back to Bill O'Brien. I swear that they win in spite of him and not because of him. I love Deshaun Watson. I mean,
Me
he
too.
could legitimately be my favorite player in the NFL. I love Deshaun Watson. I loved him at Clemson. I wanted the Giants to draft him so bad. I feel bad for him. I think when his rookie contract's up, he needs to go somewhere else where he can win because I think that guy's a winner. But I have no idea what the Texans are doing. I really don't. I can never figure that out.
I mean,
they make the playoffs every.
They've had good. I mean, they've had good players on defense. I mean, they've had. I think I've picked them to win the AFC each of the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They were just a loaded team when they were healthy.
Didn't
I mean, I know
they-
Deshaun got hurt, and all bets are off when anything like that happens. But, if the Titans were like the team that outperformed last year, the Texans have to be the team that and now the window might be closed now. I just thought they're having a fire sale, and I just don't know what they're doing. They've been disappointing to me. I like Deshaun Watson too, and I don't know. I thought they were so close, and it's hard to look at them now and think that they've somehow gotten better this offseason.
Yeah,
No,
I agree. Sorry, I was just going to say real quick. I had them going to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, so that tells you how much I thought of them.
Yeah, it's been disappointing to me.
I know they got T.J. Watt, but didn't they also used to have Clowney on the other
Yeah,
side?
well, J.J. Watt. They had J.J. Watt and
Yeah, J.J. Watt. Not bad.
both of those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a disappointment.
Pretty good.
What a
D-Hop Fuller on the outside, Lamar Miller running back. I mean, they definitely underachieved. There's no doubt about that.
Bill O'Brien came from that's who James Franklin replaced at Penn State, right? He was at Penn State before he went to
Correct.
Houston, I think. Yeah. Maybe the NFL not for him. He's doing the college thing where he still thinks he has to recycle his roster every 3 years. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's get rid of that guy. Now, what's the deal with Todd Gurley now, though? Now, why would the Rams get rid of him? There's not 5 running backs in the NFL better than him. What's going on?
I guess they're just worried about his arthritic knees. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I can think about is that. I mean, it's a great move by the Falcons, give him a 1-year deal to see what he can do. But
Right.
I'm surprised how far from grace he fell. He was the best running back in the league for years.
Yeah.
For a couple of years there, and I don't know. And I always liked Todd Gurley myself, and obviously that brings it back to when we drafted Eric Flowers and could have had Todd Gurley. God almighty, our GM was a mess too. But yeah, I hope he succeeds. But that's the only thing I can think of is just his knees.
Yeah. Falcons took Vic Beasley instead of Gurley. What a disaster. What a joke Vic Beasley is. What a disgrace. Anyway, so who's the best running back in the league now? Is it Saquon? Is it Nick Chubb?
If Saquon can stay healthy, I think Saquon's the most talented back.
I do too.
Love Nick Chubb. I think he's really good too. It's tough to say. Ezekiel Elliott's definitely up there, although I hate him with a passion. But those are probably your top 3 guys, I would imagine.
Yeah. I don't like Zeke Elliott's attitude.
I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I was going to say I don't like the team he plays for.
I'm not enough of an NFL fan to hate any team. I just don't like Zeke. I'm a fan of players, and I'm not a fan of Ezekiel Elliott. Didn't he beat up some women and? Well, wasn't it him that wanted to work out in Jamaica and all this crap last year instead of coming to practice like he was supposed to?
Yeah, that guy's a mess.
Knucklehead. He's a knucklehead. He's Antonio Brown, the running back version.
He is. He's a mess.
Can you I still can't get over. The NFL will look past so many character flaws and defects. I mean, they want to win, and they're not out here looking for anybody to win Samaritan of the Year or whatever. But how much of a knucklehead do you have to be probably the best wide receiver on the planet, and no one will touch you? That's just, I mean, I can't even think of a word to describe how sad that is for Antonio Brown. And he doesn't even have the excuse that Josh Gordon has of being addicted to drugs that I know of.
He's just addicted to dumbassery.
Yeah, he's a psycho. I said that before. That guy's just, something's not right in his head. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
He's a disaster.
I mean, it's not like this guy is a fifth string, guy struggling to make rosters, and so he's just got an attitude problem. He's one of the best wide receivers on planet Earth, and no one will touch him. That's how poisonous he is. That's just a damn shame. I can't get over that. I mean, the guy's just pissing money away, and it's not even. Listen, once you get a certain amount of money, I mean, not that they don't deserve even more or whatever. I get that, but so I don't even know if money is obviously not a motivation for him. But geez, the guy just, it frustrates. I mean, as somebody who struggled to even be halfway decent in high school football, and he's born with all this God-given talent and ability. To watch somebody like that just piss it away is just frustrating to me.
I think what AB's biggest problem is, guys, is he saw that Juwan Jennings was getting ready to enter the league, so he's just trying to get the hell out of there before he gets embarrassed. That's the only thing I can think of, that could possibly be this guy's problem. I mean, I know BADDOG agrees with me. I'm not so sure about Uncle Lou. Yeah.
I always agree with you, BBD.
That's the safest thing to do right there. Just always agree with me, and you'll be fine.
I hate to break up this football talk, but this is kind of important. But Chris C., thank you for hitting that PayPal link, and he's asking, which yes, I did know. Netflix is dropping a brand new episode of Tiger King on Sunday. Were you aware, BBD?
No.
Yeah, they're adding one additional episode. It comes out on Sunday, so hurry up and finish Ozark. You need to catch that now. BADDOG, have you jumped down the Tiger King rabbit hole yet?
I have not. I don't watch any television shows, so I have not. My wife watches it. I don't even pay attention when it's on the TV. I don't pay attention. I'm too busy watching YouTube.
I was gonna say, is it because of how busy and important you are?
I'm just watching a lot of YouTube.
Gotcha. Well, that makes you an important person. So.
Speaking of nut huggers,
this is Slim Shady here. Thank you, Slim Shady. I appreciate that. He says, I've said every year for more than the past decade, Tom Brady's going to win the Super Bowl, and I've been right more times than I was wrong. Yes.
Is it the real Slim Shady?
Yeah.
Or the imposter Slim
No,
Shady?
he was even standing up when he typed this, so it was definitely him.
Okay.
It was definitely him. Now, DeAndre Swift or J.K. Dobbins? That's to either of you.
Swift.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion, BVD?
I'm not sold on Dobbins.
No.
I mean,
I am.
I don't know. I just never liked him.
I also would take Swift, but I do think Dobbins is also really, really good. And how shocked were you, BADDOG, that Travis Etienne returned to Clemson?
That was surprising, especially because the running back class this year really isn't that strong. So normally guys, if they feel they can get higher in the draft by staying in college, they'll do that. So I was surprised Etienne went back, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, all year I kept saying, all right, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne, and Jonathan Taylor. Those are your, beasts or whatever for the NFL next year. And he would have been one of the first four taken, I'm sure. I mean, he can play all three downs. So I mean, I couldn't believe. And running backs are so. I mean, we just talked about it with Todd Gurley. I mean, every year you get in the NFL is a blessing, but I mean, you can get hurt at any time. But the shelf life of a running back is one of, if not the shortest in all of the NFL. I mean, these guys are used up a lot of times 4 or 5 years in. Every year you stay in college is just more tread coming off those tires. So I was surprised, and he's got a national
And it's
title.
rare.
It wasn't this year, but he's got one. So I don't know. I was very surprised that he came back. Is Jonathan Taylor finally going to be the Wisconsin running back that's decent in the NFL? I'm not convinced.
He'll be okay. You know what he reminds me of is Ron. Ron Dana's horrible for us tonight. All these guys that run at Wisconsin seem like they're great there. They get the NFL. They don't have the speed to I don't know. He'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be anything great though. I don't believe in Jonathan Taylor, honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely take one of the other two guys ahead of him. Plus, he's got way more. He was running the ball Herschel Walker style 30 times a game at Wisconsin.
Dane was a big guy, though, right? I mean,
yeah, Jonathan Taylor is fast, though. I don't know I'm curious what his 40 time was, but I remember watching him play a couple of times. Because here's the thing. You can name any player from Wisconsin and ask me about him. The first thing I'm going to say is, well, they're slow. Because I just think everybody on Wisconsin is slow because they just always are. So I don't know if my eyes were deceiving me, but Jonathan Taylor, to me, looked faster than what you're used to seeing out of Wisconsin running backs. I wonder if he ran the 40 at the combine. Let's see. I don't know if he did or not.
what's BADDOG's 40 time?
6.41. Oh, no, that's not his 40 time. That's his grade.
Like 40 time now or when I was younger?
If you went out right now and ran a 40,
wow.
could you beat EDP's 40 time?
I'm sure I could beat that.
How about running backwards? Could you beat it?
I probably could beat it running backwards too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. They need to instead of Rich Eisen every year, the NFL needs to bring EDP to the combine every year and let him run the 40.
Can you imagine?
Shirtless too, shirtless.
Oh God! What's that? The vision I do not want to see.
Was J.K. Dobbins hurt? Why did he not participate in the combine? Or did he? And these numbers just aren't. All it's got is his bench press numbers. It doesn't have. It's just got blanks for everything else.
I've never understood why some guys don't participate in the combine. I always feel like they don't feel like they're going to do well unless they do have some kind of injury or something. But I didn't know why. I mean, for Kyler Murray, I thought it was a little different. I think he didn't want to run the 40 for the simple fact he didn't want people to, worry about his 40 time. They wanted he wanted them to worry about his quarterback capability. So I get it for him, but I don't know. I never understand why a running back and wide receiver won't run the 40 unless, there's some kind of injury or something.
You know who wasn't concerned for the NFL scouts to go ahead and see their 40 time? Jonathan Taylor. But, okay, DeAndre Swift, 4.48. I'm not an expert on what people typically. I mean, I know that's fast, but so is that good for running? How does that compare to some of the other running backs that we would consider to be fast? Is that good? I wonder what somebody
average.
like a Todd Gurley or a Nick Chubb was.
Anything sub 4.5 is pretty fast. I think 4.5 is about the average. So I'd say that's right around average. I mean, when you get into the NFL, sub 4.4 is fast.
I remember
running in the 4.3s, you're fast.
I'm gonna look up Nick Chubb. I remember. No, it was his bench press that people were blown away by. He ran a 4.52. So Chubb.
Wow, Taylor ran a 4.41. That I did not know Taylor ran a 4.41. I did not know Taylor was that fast.
Yeah. Actually, according to NFL.com, combine site 4.39.
Damn, I did not know that he was that fast.
And he's pretty much he's 5'10", 226. That's Nick Chubb. I think that's exact height and weight of Nick. It's very close. 4.39. That's pretty fast. But my concern with him is still, I don't know. I there's a reason that you hear people talk about the tread on the tires when it comes to running backs all the time. It's got to mean something. And the guy has had twice as many carries. Look at what Georgia's doing. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel were both drafted in the first round. They ran the ball 10 times a game. 10 times a game. Chubb averaged like 11.5 carries a game is his last year. Sony Michel averaged like 9.5 carries a game. I don't know what Jonathan Taylor averages. I didn't look it up, but it's got to be in the 20s. So that has to matter over the course of 3 years in college if you're running the ball 20-something times a game as opposed to 10 or 12. So that's just a big concern with me with Jonathan Taylor. But I don't know. We'll see how he does. I think the other two guys will get taken ahead of him, Dobbins and Swift. I would take Swift. But I mean I'm a homer and I really like Swift. I'll say this: Swift. Look, the hurdle is cool to see when it happens. He better cut that shit out. Because you have no I'm no scientist, so I don't know these equations about but you have no force when you're airborne. And someone is going to light his ass up because he does it just for fun. Like, he does it when he doesn't even have to. He just does it to do it. Like, look at me. And I remember a few Georgia games watching him do it and seeing a defender closing in as he's in the air and, like, almost closing my eyes going, oh, God, no, please. Somebody's going to light his ass up. He starts trying to hurdle people in the NFL, so I hope he cuts that out. But Swift is a beast, though. He really is. Good kid, too. Played the right way. And you know how I complain, a lot of people do, about these kids wanting to sit out the bowl game and that. That was legitimate with Swift. He did not want to sit out. And he had every reason to. He was injured coming off the SEC, or he was injured even before the SEC title game. Didn't play at all in the SEC title game, had 1 or 2 carries. He had every reason to just pack it in and not even show up at the Sugar Bowl. But he did. He showed up. He played a little bit. And from all the reports and everything that you read, he was one of the big he was one of the big things that kept that team together this past year heading into the Sugar Bowl to prevent what had happened a year before when the team fell apart in the 3 weeks before the Sugar Bowl and didn't even show up. So I like him as a person. I think he's got great character. Like I think he's captain material. So I'm big on Swift. I hope he gets a chance with somebody good in the NFL and I think he's going to be successful. I think he'll do okay.
Yeah, if he doesn't go early second round, if he goes late first, he is going to end up on a really good team, and he could definitely help a team without a doubt. I mean, he ends up on the Ravens or something like that. I mean, that could be huge for them. I don't know where else. I think the Packers may be looking at. I don't know where the Packers are going, but the Packers could probably use a running back as well, so he could end up there. I mean, I think Swift is a late first round guy myself.
Now this particular mock draft that I just pulled up at random, I don't know, this is sporting news, so I'm not here to tell anybody they're better or worse than anybody else. They have Andrew Thomas going 14, which seems a little low to me, to the Bucks.
I don't think he's getting past Cleveland. I think Cleveland will take Andrew Thomas at 10.
They have, how weird does this sound? With the 12th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, right.
That is weird. There's the same thing as calling them the Los Angeles Chargers. I still call them San Diego now and again.
I still call them the St. Louis Rams. People get so mad. But they've got the Raiders taking your boy CeeDee Lamb at 12, and then Jerry Jeudy going to San Francisco at 13 in a trade from the Colts.
Yeah, I can see Ruggs, Jeudy, and Lamb going 11, 12, 13. I think the Jets could take CeeDee Lamb, and then whatever Lamb or Jeudy, whoever's there at 12 of the Raiders, I see them taking them. And I honestly think at 13, I think Henry Ruggs goes to San Francisco. I don't want Henry Ruggs in my division, man. I do not want that 4-2-7 guy in the NFC, especially with the Eagles, because I have nightmares of what Deshaun Jackson used to do to us in his prime, and I just see that all over again with Henry Ruggs. So I don't want him in the division. Please go to San Francisco or the Jets or something. Don't come to the NFC. That guy scares the hell out of me.
Who's your sleeper team in the NFL this year?
Cardinals.
Okay.
That's that deep sleep. That's my hibernation team.
The Bills are also going to be very good this year, I think. I think the Bills can make the AFC Championship game this year.
The Bills looked decent at times last season, didn't they? Kind of out of the blue.
What's that?
Didn't the Bills do okay at times this past season?
They did make the playoffs, and they blew a big lead against Houston. But they're definitely getting better. The addition of Stephon Diggs is going to help them a lot.
They've got DeAndre Swift as the first running back taken at 26 to the Miami Dolphins, so he'll be teaming up with our boy to Pineapple there.
Yep.
Oh, I don't speak pineapple
kind of
well.
falling down the draft boards a little bit, so there's a part of me that thinks Herbert could go ahead of him. We'll see.
There's a report out on ESPN this morning, who didn't see this coming. Two his people or reps, whatever you call it, say he'll 100% be ready to go by the time camp starts. But of course they're saying that now. The draft is coming up. You can't believe anything you hear between now and the draft, can you?
No, definitely not.
The mind games that it's not just the players, the teams will play. Like, you'll have GMs or representatives from certain teams go out and give an interview where they hype up some certain player, and they have no intention on drafting that player. They're just trying to trick some other team into thinking that they might draft him so they can work, try to get a trade up or whatever. It's crazy to watch.
That's exactly what I thought the Giants were doing with Daniel Jones last year. When I heard all those rumors, I said, there's no way they're taking Daniel Jones. No way. This is BS. They know Washington wants Daniel Jones. They're just trying to say that to get Washington to trade. Now they took Daniel Jones.
There's rumors out there that Jones's jersey this year, instead of having Jones on the back, it's going to say BADDOG's boy. Any truth to those rumors?
It should. That is my guy. Daniel Jones is my guy.
Should be.
It's amazing how things work, isn't it?
How many views did that video end up with? Your reaction to the Giants drafting Daniel Jones?
God, that thing's all over the internet.
It blew up.
The first place that I saw that compilation was I think it was Broadway Sports, and that got like 500,000 views. My video itself, I took it down for a while. And then somebody's like, oh, man, the video is viral. I'm like, well, the hell with it. I might as well put it back up. I'm like, because of the language, obviously. So I'm like, the hell with it. I'll put it back up here. I saw another video that had 30,000 views. And then I had people recognize me from that because it was on SI.com. And, of course, the image of me with the veins popping out of my neck.
Yeah.
The thumbnail.
Oh,
so
great.
guys like, oh, I saw your Daniel Jones video. Not what I want to be remembered for, but it is what it is. I own that reaction, and I got so many guys now asking me, "Hey, what player is going to make you react like that this year? The Giants take him." People love to see me angry.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Wow, yeah.
But they love it.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants to see anybody happy on YouTube.
No.
You're right.
No.
But yeah. Hey, listen, about the Daniel Jones reaction, I say this all the time. I mean, that was just pure ignorance on my part. I mean, I didn't go look at Daniel Jones' film. I'm not looking at a Duke quarterback's film, and I'm looking at the draft. I'm like, well, that's an afterthought. But when I did calm down and go and look at it, I said, this kid actually has skill. Like, I never knew he was as athletic as he was. I'm not thinking that he could run, that he's really accurate on the run. He's really accurate down the field. He's a smart guy. He had no NFL players on his team. He had so many drops. He wasn't protected. I'm like, well, this actually could translate into the NFL. And there's a lot of Giants fans that thought he would fall to 17, but he would never have went past Washington. Well, he might have because Gruden wanted Daniel Jones. And the owner, Daniel Snyder, wanted Dwayne Haskins. That's how they ended up with him. But I still think Denver was going to take him. They can lie about, oh, we wanted Drew Lock the whole time. Well, I don't believe that for a minute because if they wanted Drew Lock, why would you wait until the second round to take a quarterback that you really like? That didn't make sense. But I do think Daniel Jones was coveted by some teams, and that's why the Giants took him 6.
Yeah. it's always tricky with an unknown when you draft an unknown player from either a non-Power 5 school. I know Duke is Power 5, but they're just not considered a football school. It's always tricky because a lot of times the fans aren't happy, and it's a name recognition thing. Really, is all it is. You should see the Georgia fans' heads explode in the Georgia groups on Facebook when I tell them that somebody named Jordan Love is getting drafted ahead of Jake Fromm. They think I'm making it. They think it's like some character from the Dirk Diggler movie that I'm just making it up. But I can't wait to see how mad they're going to get when that happens.
I think people
They have
tend
no idea.
to.
They just have no idea who that is.
A lot of the NFL fans, casual or not, tend to forget that these NFL guys get paid big bucks to know who the hell to pick, you know.
Yeah, not that they get it right every time, but
most of the time they do.
yeah.
Well, our GM got it wrong for about 8 or 9 years in a row with Jerry Reese. So, when you're taking, Justin Pugh and you're taking Eric Flowers and Eli Apple and Evan Ingram in the first round, or Prince Amukamura, just awful draft picks for years. And then the second round and third round picks are even worse. You're going to fail. When your second round picks are Reuben Randall and Jalen Hoser was a third round pick, and you're taking guys like that, man, it's no wonder the Giants are in the situation they are in.
Eli Apple was a surprise to me. I mean, Ohio State, it seems like they put starting defensive backs in the NFL every single year, and he didn't work out. It would be like if DeAndre Swift was a bust. Like, it's hard to see that coming from Georgia, or that a running back would be that bad. But now here, speaking of sleepers, shockers, are we in the Twilight Zone type information here? I don't know if this is a typo or what, but according to the good people over at thesportingnews.com, Bad Dog, somebody is drafting an Oklahoma defensive player in the first round.
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray
Yeah.
to the Ravens.
Yeah, I think Murray could actually go earlier than that.
Yeah, he's really
I'll
good.
tell you, I talk about this all the time. I've been a Sooners fan since '05, right? So I didn't, I was young when Bosworth was there. And obviously, we're not known for defense in the Big 12. I think everybody knows that. I'll be honest with you, there, Uncle Lou, and we don't deserve to make a playoffs ever again. Just don't, until we put some kind of defense in the field. Don't embarrass us. Okay, that was just absolutely humiliating what Burrow and LSU did to us. I just sat there in disbelief, but I love Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray is he is a football player, man. His motor never stops. He's impressive. He's got that dog in him. I love Kenneth Murray. Like I said, this is the one time I sit there and go, I want to watch Oklahoma's defense just because of Kenneth Murray. I love that guy. I love Kenneth Murray. If the Giants traded back and took Kenneth Murray at 19 or 20, I'd be so happy to get a tackle on Kenneth Murray at this draft. I really like him. And I think he'll be a pretty good player in the NFL.
I think I might have just learned something here, too, looking at this draft. Baltimore has the 28th pick. They were 14-2. Disappointing in the playoffs, though. The Titans have the 29th pick, and they were 9-7. So, for the teams that make the playoffs, the draft order is not determined by regular season record?
Correct.
Okay. It's
The
how
Super
you
Bowl
did in the
champion always
playoffs.
picks last.
Okay.
Super Bowl champion always picks last.
So that's why the Titans at 9-7 are picking after the Ravens at 14-2, because the Titans made it further in the playoffs.
Correct. In 2011, the Giants are 9-7 and won the Super Bowl, but they picked 32nd for David Wilson.
Okay.
So, yep.
And you know what? I think I did know that about the Super Bowl winner picking last. I don't know why. I guess I've been scrolling through this list, and it's got every team's record last year, and so you can see the teams getting progressively better. So it just looked weird to see, Seattle 12-4, Baltimore 14-2, and then Tennessee 9-7. But okay, so that makes sense now. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting in here in the first round or two.
You guys left out Derrick Henry earlier when you were talking about best running backs in the league.
Well,
Yeah, he's up there.
One-hit wonder.
Just to bring up Eli Apple real quick, I know everybody remembers my Daniel Jones reaction. I'm telling you, when we drafted Eli Apple, my reaction was worse.
Oh, really? So you knew he was good. You knew that wasn't going to be a good one. Okay.
Pissed. I actually do have the Eli Apple rant. I re-uploaded it back on my page because I'm like, you guys think that because the draft is coming up, like, you guys think I was mad at Daniel Jones? I'm like, look at this video, and this was the day after we took him. I wanted Leonard Floyd in that draft so bad, and when the Bears traded up, I wanted Conklin or Floyd. When the Titans and Bears traded up and took those guys ahead of us, and then we took Eli Apple, I lost my mind. Now, to be fair to Jerry Reese, the 2016 draft, everybody after Eli Apple absolutely sucked. That was a bad draft class. But that day, I was so pissed. I did not like Eli Apple at all coming out of office. I did not like him one bit.
They have J.K. Dobbins all the way down at number 45 to Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm too high on him. I don't know. I always liked him.
Wilkie's, I'm on YouTube. Waikiki's got a question for Bad Dog. Would you have rather drafted Josh Allen last year and take a quarterback this year? He said, I would have given Eli Manning a retirement year.
I think last year was supposed to be Eli Manning's retirement year, obviously, or honestly, but I just think that, the Giants are so bad. It's like get Daniel Jones the reps, which I completely agree. It's such a tough question because I really do like Daniel Jones, but Josh Allen was my guy. I mean, that's why I was so mad. Going into that draft, I said I don't want the Giants to take any quarterback other than Kyler Murray, for obvious reasons. I think Kyler was the best there, and I'm a Sooner fan, so I knew a lot about Kyler Murray. But I was like, I want Josh Allen. That's the guy that I want. And I'm like, he's never going to fall to the Giants because either the Jets or Raiders are going to take him, and he's not going to be there. And then the Jets took Quentin Williams, who had a terrible rookie season. And then the Raiders went Clelin Ferrell. Like, what? And I knew that the Bucs were going Devin White, so I'm like, oh, my God, Josh Allen is there. Josh Allen's there. And that's my whole video. Please take Josh Allen. Please take Josh Allen. And that's Daniel Jones, and I lose my shit. So I love Josh Allen.
Me too.
We needed that edge rusher bad and didn't get him. So it's a tough question. We would have ended up with Justin Herbert this year, and I wanted Justin Herbert last year if he came out. So, I mean, I love Daniel Jones, but if you tell me I could have Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, I would have rather went that route, honestly.
Yeah, that was a surprise that Herbert came back last year because he was projected a first-round pick by almost everybody. I guess maybe this year's Travis Etienne. I guess it worked out for Herbert. He didn't get hurt or anything like that. He's still going to get drafted pretty high.
Yeah.
Big risk to do that, though. Slim Shady Canes, thank you, sir. He says, what does he say? Tom Brady will be playing for a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay this year. No.
Yeah. That division, the Saints are still a class of that division, in my opinion.
Yeah. Falcons
they don't even make the
strong,
playoffs this year, do they, Bad Dog?
I don't know. They were 7-9 last year. I mean, he's got good wide receivers to throw to. Bruce Arians is a good coach.
Fuck Bruce Arians, by the way.
I think they and the Cardinals battle out for that wild card spot. I think they do. I think they could both end up 9-7, but I like the Cardinals better than the Bucs. But it's going to be interesting. Everybody always said, is Brady great because of Belichick, or is Belichick great because of Brady? And I'm like, well, if you're asking that question, I mean, come on. Belichick won 2 Super Bowls here as our defense coordinator. He turned the Browns around in the 90s. That guy's, in my opinion, Belichick is the greatest head coach ever with what he's able to do. It's not like the Patriots had a ton of talent around Tom Brady his entire career. I mean, he had good players, but he had Randy Moss, 2 years, the first year there. They set all the offensive records ever. They were undefeated till they met the Giants. It'll be interesting to see how good Brady does with a different head coach and vice versa with Belichick and Jarrett Stidham. I mean, if the Patriots going to be a winning team with Jarrett Stidham, that tells you all you need to know about Bill Belichick.
Now, this is more like what I'm used to seeing from the Falcons here. Now, of course, they didn't draft Todd Gurley because they didn't need a running back. That's what we were told. So they drafted that lady Vic Beasley, who's just terrible. Of course, they turned right around in the second round and drafted who? Tevin Coleman in that same draft. So, yes, apparently you did need a running back. You just picked the wrong one. Now he's gone, as is Devontae Freeman. They go back and get Todd Gurley, who they purposely didn't get 5-6 years ago. And according to the good people at the Sporting News, they're now going to turn around and draft this sack of potatoes from LSU name of Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. I mean, that would be the most Falcons thing ever.
What round do they have him going in?
Do what?
What round do they have him mocked?
The second pick, 47.
Wow.
So
what?
So apparently, the only thing the Falcons were missing was 2 running backs, and now they're going out and getting them. So write it down. I don't see how Tampa Bay's making it to the Super Bowl, Slim Shady, if Atlanta's making it.
Uncle Lou, I have a question for you, because there is a guy that I've been watching film on, and I really like him as a deep round sleeper. And I mean, I don't know how much of this guy you watch or how much Maryland football you watch, but I really like Anthony McFarland late in this draft. I mean, have you seen any Maryland football? Have either one of you guys, watch Anthony McFarland or have any opinion on him? Because in our 6th round, I mean, we could always use a backup running back. And the more I watch this kid, the more I fall in love with him. This is a perfect late round sleeper for the Giants. I mean, either one of you guys have any opinion on Anthony McFarland?
I think he's got enough potential upside if it's, a round 6 or a 7. I don't think that's the type of guy that you would reach for. I think the risk is too high with him, but somebody's going to take him. I'm sure.
Yeah, he and Jermichael Hasty, that's another one. Like I think Jermichael Hasty in the 7th round is a pretty good pick too. I mean, those are like my 2 late, sleeper picks for the Giants. But the more I watch Anthony McFarland, you want to talk about a guy that had a great combine. He's got track speed. And 5'8", 208 is pretty put together, so he can receive a little bit. And again, he wouldn't start. I mean, he'd be a change of pace for Barkley, but I just, I really like that kid the more I watch. And again, I'm not saying Giants got to go 4th round, but 6th or 7th round, if he's there, I think that'd be a great pick for them late in the draft.
Yeah, somebody's going to take him, and I mean, there's a reason the draft is 7 rounds. There are plenty of NFL ready players available in the 6th and 7th round. Some people want to knock a guy for getting drafted in the. I mean, you look around the league. How many 6th and 7th round draft picks are starting? A lot.
Yeah, Belichick's made a living out of those late round guys.
Yeah, even undrafted guys. What's the guy the center out of Georgia, David Andrews, undrafted, started year 1 center for New England.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, Giants have had a couple of those guys. I mean, Victor Cruz, he was undrafted. He was really big for us. Bradshaw was drafted in the 7th round. He ended up being a pretty good running back for us. So you never know. I mean, the likelihood of those guys being stars or even lasting in the NFL is slim, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes you do find some gems. I mean, we picked Darius Slayton late in the 5th round last year, and he was great for the Giants last year.
Probably a question that would require a little bit of time to think about. But who's the greatest, right off the top of your head, the greatest undrafted free agent that you can think of?
Tony Romo comes to mind. That's probably the first guy I think of, because I hated him, but I think Tony Romo was a very good quarterback in his prime before all the injuries. I think that's the first guy that comes to mind. And then Johnny late picks. I mean, who's the best late pick ever? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I was picked 199th overall. Became the greatest quarterback ever, so it's great. But Romo's probably the guy that I think of as far as undrafted, right off the top of my head.
Now, apparently, Tony Romo is even a better broadcaster than he was an NFL quarterback. Did you see the amount of money? Did you see the amount of money that ESPN offered him for Monday Night Football?
He turned it down, right?
It was an insane amount of money, though.
Am I the only guy that can't stand him as an announcer?
You don't like him, BBD?
No, I cannot.
God. I think he does a great job.
So, I mean, he does a great job. His knowledge is obviously there. There's just some guys that broadcast, their voice. And he's one of those guys, when I hear his voice, I just want to turn the TV off or throw something at it.
Yeah, I think Danielson was that guy for a lot of SEC guys.
Yeah. A lot of guys hated, Vern. A lot of people couldn't stand Vern Lundquist. I love Vern.
I loved Vern Lundquist, man.
Mhm.
He was awesome.
I loved
I
him.
mean, I grew up
I
with
loved
Madden
him
and
except
Summerall.
for the last. The last 3 or 4 years, he should not have been broadcasting games. I mean, he couldn't do simple things like say basic names, and I mean, it was just. It was sad to see. It was like watching Muhammad Ali when you knew he should have quit 2 years ago or whatever. It was, he didn't have it anymore, and it was just sad to see.
Happened with
Mentally it
Summerall,
was
too.
gone.
Yeah, I think that happened with Summerall too. Near
I
the
think
end.
the alcohol took a toll on Summerall.
It did. But growing up with Madden and Summerall in the '80s, I mean, my God, you didn't have a better broadcasting team ever, than those two guys. They were.
I actually couldn't stand Madden either, but he was great.
Wasn't it Pat Summerall that Deion Sanders chased out of the locker room after a baseball game one time?
That was Tim McCarver.
Tim McCarver,
Yeah,
that's right.
Tim McCarver.
Ah,
That guy's
was
just
funny.
a total douchebag.
Deion poured champagne or something all over him, or splashed it in his face or something, and Tim McCarver's, "Oh, you're a real big man, Deion."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, McCarver deserves.
And what about this is a famous one too, but Jim Rome and Chris Everett.
Oh, that was classic, yeah.
Chris Everett flipped the table over on his ass. Jim Rome backed up quick.
Boy, if anybody ever deserved to get their ass beat on TV, that was Jim Rome.
And of course, it's not Chris Everett; it was Jim Everett. But Tony,
Right.
Rome, what's his name? Jim Rome kept referring to him as Chris Everett, which of course was a female tennis player at the time. And the thing is, he straight up asked him like twice, "You got to stop calling me that, man. Please don't call me that again."
Call me that one more time.
Yeah, he looked right up at him. Jim Rome looked right at him and goes, "Okay, Chris."
Yep.
He flipped that damn table over on his ass so quick, boy. That damn Jim Rome was doing the back step, boy. He couldn't get out of there quick enough. He was moonwalking out of there.
Yeah, that was funny.
Man,
I think
that
Jim
was
Everett must have been just some Italian dinners flipping over the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite NFL broadcaster of all time for you, Bad Dog?
No,
Radio or TV?
I mean, John Madden's obviously the first guy that comes to mind because I grew up with him. But I mean, Dick Enberg was fantastic. I mean, that is a guy that does not get enough credit. Dick Enberg was amazing. I mean, anytime you had a big AFC game, that was your guy. And I love Dick Enberg. Dick Stockton's another one that's really good. That's really underrated. But
I like Kevin Harlan. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's got to be Madden for me. Madden, I mean, I grew up with those guys, and they were absolutely phenomenal. But Dick Enberg is definitely up there. I think he was a fantastic announcer.
Yeah.
Oh my, that was his whole thing. But he was really good.
Keith Jackson is sort of that for in the college football world.
Mm-hmm.
He called the ABC. That was back when. I mean, now, how many games are on college football from Thursday through Saturday now? 100? I'm not exact. It might be.
All of them, just about.
Yeah, I mean, back then that wasn't the case, I mean, maybe 20 or 25 games, maybe, were on, I mean, hell, I remember having to get Georgia games on pay-per-view. BVD, you probably remember something similar with the SEC used to have a pay-per-view arrangement. And if your team was playing a nobody at noon, you couldn't find that on TV. It was a pay-per-view deal, but Keith Jackson would broadcast that 3:30 game every week on ABC, and I mean, that was the game you watched. It didn't matter what team you were a fan of. That was the game you watched because chances are that was going to be the only game that was on. Everybody knew Keith Jackson, and he had some sayings too that are, something he used to call the offensive linemen. What did he call it? The hog mollies or whatever he used to say all the time about the offensive line.
Didn't he coin the phrase "big uglies"?
Yeah, the big uglies. Yeah. That was
Whoa Nelly.
Whoa Nelly.
Whoa Nelly. Whoa Nelly. Whoa.
He also called some World Series games. He did baseball as well. Keith Jackson.
I don't remember that.
Nelly.
Yeah, Keith Jackson was a good one.
How about you remember Ron Franklin? Ron Franklin and Mike Gottfried on the ESPN primetime games back in the 90s. Man, I love those guys.
Yeah, I don't remember those guys. Do you guys have a favorite announcer?
Larry Munson.
Yeah, aside from the obvious, Keith Jackson probably. I actually liked Howard Cosell. I mean, I was a little young, but I loved his Muhammad Ali, the little back and forth he would have with Muhammad Ali. Um, yeah, football wise, probably Keith Jackson.
I'll tell you what kind of
And,
annoys
and
me.
Ron Franklin. I love Ron Franklin.
What annoys me more now about announcers is not the announcers. I mean, there are some announcers that I watch and I'm like, they're not that good. But like these people that think every single announcer hates their team, I don't like that. Like, whoever, just name some random announcer. They don't hate your team. Well, he never says anything good about my team. And they're 4-8 or something. Well, there's not a whole lot good to say.
Right.
But I don't. That might not be the case. That might not be as prevalent in the NFL, where you have, there's 100 different broadcast teams for college football because of the number of games. And you BVD, I know you hear this all the time. Such and such announcer just hates Tennessee, and I hear
Chris
it all
Fowler.
the time about Georgia. Oh,
Chris Fowler's that guy for Tennessee.
I don't even watch game day anymore. They ain't never got nothing good to say about Georgia. Meanwhile, you turn it on game day and they're talking about how Georgia's probably Georgia's probably, third or fourth best team, blah, blah, blah. It says everyone thinks everyone hates their team. I don't know. That's just not the case.
The guy I can't stand to hear call a game, and he's probably a lot of people's favorite, is Brent Musburger. Brent Musburger, can't stand him.
I could take him or leave him.
I mean, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s in the NFL, he was the voice of the pregame NFL shows. Him, Jimmy the Greek. What was that girl's name? Phyllis George.
Cross, Phyllis George.
Yeah.
Irv Cross was another one. Yep. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I just felt like Joe Buck hated the Yankees, though. I will go to my grave thinking that Joe Buck hates the Yankees.
Man.
He does not like the Yankees, and you could tell he doesn't like the Yankees. When they win all those championships in the '90s, you could tell it was ticking him off. The way he called the games, he was sitting there going, "God, not again with this damn team."
You had to have some favorite MLB broadcasters. My two favorites were Vin Scully and Joe Garagiola.
I think Vin Scully is probably the greatest announcer in any sport.
Is he the one for the Dodgers? Is he the one for the Dodgers that's like 90 years old now?
Yeah, he retired.
Oh, okay.
Last year, but maybe last year. I love Vin Scully. That guy, the greatest ever. I mean, he was a radio guy. He also did, television, but that guy painted a picture. I remember the first time I really listened to him when I got MLB Extra Innings, and this was probably back in the early 2000s. I was watching a Dodger game, which obviously being in New York, without that, I don't get to see Dodger games of him calling them. And it took me 4 innings to realize he called the game by himself because he was able to tell stories, fill time, and call a play-by-play. And I fell in love with that guy. I mean, he is just so good. And then his legendary call with the ball going between Buckner's legs and his, the Kirk Gibson home run. Just so many great memories with Vin Scully. Amazing. That guy was incredible.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes, but let's get away from sports for just a few minutes before we end it. Where was the last place Bad Dog went on vacation?
Where's the last place I went on vacation? San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Oh, never been there.
That
was a family thing?
Yes, I've been there 4 times. I absolutely love it. That is my favorite place to go.
Yeah,
it's down in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, but I love San Juan. I love it down there.
Where do you stay when you go somewhere like that? You stay on a resort somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah.
ESJ Towers is usually where we stay. It's right on the beach.
Yeah.
So that's usually our place.
The only place down there I've ever been for any extended period of time is Jamaica, and we stayed on a resort there. And the resort is amazing. We stayed at a Sandals. You get off the resort, and it's like a third world country. So I don't know if Puerto Rico or San Juan is that way, but
yeah. And I don't go too far. I mean, usually if you go down to Old San Juan, there's a lot of stores. There's a lot of stuff down there. But I don't go through the entire, territory of Puerto Rico. It's pretty much we just go down to Old San Juan. Like I said, there's a bunch of shops and there's restaurants.
Yeah.
Senior Frogs is down there and everything else. But yeah, we don't go too far. But I just it's gorgeous down there. That is a vacation. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. The last place we vacationed was Disney World. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But that's not really a vacation. That's work. Especially with a 1-year-old. My son was 1 when we went down there, so that's work.
Probably
That is
cheaper to go to San Juan for 2 weeks than it is to go to Disney World for 3 or 4 days.
You got that right, man.
It costs an arm and a leg to go to Disney World. It is insane what it costs to go down there. You ever been on a cruise?
I have never been on a cruise.
I went on my first one last year. I could take it or leave it. It's not, you know. I guess, I mean, I don't drink and I don't gamble. So I pretty much was just stuck on a boat in the ocean for 4 days. I don't know what else you do on a cruise ship if you don't drink or gamble, but I mean, it was better than I thought it would be. I've never, even back when I did drink and gamble and all that, I never had a desire to go on a cruise, but I mean, it was okay, but you know, I could take it or leave it. It wasn't great. I definitely wouldn't go on one now. Well, these people, it's like ghost ship when it comes back. Have to like The Walking Dead on these cruise ships now. Why these people? It's hard to feel sorry for these people who are getting sick on the cruise ships, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know
come
what.
on. Have
just
some
not
common
thinking.
sense here. You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason you got such a good deal on that cruise, buddy.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
Because no one else wanted to go. That's why. Oh, BVD hung up on us, by the way. So I'm not sure what that was about. Must have been something you said.
Professional.
Yeah, must have been something you said. I don't know. Anyway, Bad Dog, I really appreciate you coming on, man. We love it every time you come on. I told BVD yesterday. You might have seen. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm trying to get D-Town to come on one morning. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
Oh God, yeah! If you could get a hold of him, that'd be amazing. I hope he's doing well. I don't see it very often.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he deactivated his account for a long time, but he recently reactivated it. And so I messaged him yesterday, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you've been keeping up with what I'm doing on YouTube or not, but I told him about the morning show. I said, man, I would love to have you on. I said, you know, we'll talk a little sports. I said, but we'll just shoot the breeze for a while. But that would be an entertaining one to have on, wouldn't it?
If I was ever having a bad day, I would just turn on a D-Town video, and I would forget about everything. That guy cracked me the hell.
He was hilarious.
He was hilarious, man. He was without a doubt, one of my favorites of all time. I love that guy. He killed me, man.
And
he was funny.
If he decided that he needed to go in on somebody, it was over for that person at that moment.
Yeah.
He
Maybe
was
he
brutal.
get on Fleet called the 3 a.m. Shuffle, and that's one of my favorites of all time. That was an amazing video.
He was brutal with people. Yeah, I'd love to have him on. So I'm trying to get him added to the list. But hey, we'll let you go. Again, thank you, sir. It was a great time. I'm glad you took the time to do it. Stay safe up there. For y'all, those of you that I don't know how you wouldn't know after listening to him for an hour, but he's from New York, not the New York City area, but still New York State area, upstate New York, I think. So, but be careful up there, sir, and we'll do it again sometime.
That sounds good. I just want to say again, I really appreciate you guys doing this every morning. This has been the best thing about me working from home is that I do get to tune you guys in at 8 o'clock every morning. And you guys are both amazing. I mean, you're two of my favorite guys on YouTube without a doubt, and I appreciate everything you do. You guys do great work, and both you guys stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Bad Dog. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Yeah, BVD must have got disconnected or something. He tried to call back a minute ago, but I can't add him to the call. If he calls me, I have to call him to add him to the call, and we were wrapping up anyway. So BVD, if you're listening, I'm not sure what happened, if you were disconnected somehow on my end, or if it was something on your end, but if I would have answered the call, it would, you know how that works. So anyway, we were wrapping it up anyway. So that's going to do it for this morning. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. I know a lot of you are not NFL fans, and I get it. That's fine. And we don't. It's not like we talk a lot of NFL here, but I'm not a huge NFL fan either. But I'm a fan of college football players, and I've told you before, I do like to keep up with college football players that I followed in college once they go on to the NFL. So draft season is always a good time to talk to Bad Dog because he's always got all the answers. Bad Dog, when it comes to the NFL, you can't go wrong with him. you guys subscribe to his channel if there's a reason that you haven't already. I see him leaving a comment down there now. You can just search for his channel name, but the easiest way to do it when you're watching a video like this is just click his subscribe, click his name right there, and there'll be an option that comes up that says go to channel. Just go to that channel, click the subscribe button. You guys check him out. He does great work, and he'll have a lot of stuff coming up the next couple of weeks leading up to the draft, I'm sure. So, but that's going to do it for today. Shout out to everybody who chose to support the show this morning through that PayPal link. Again, I've hit all the qualifications on this second channel to get monetized, but because of the coronavirus, about 75% of YouTube's workforce is either not working or working from home, and so every time you log into YouTube, there's all these messages about how everything's going to take longer than it normally takes, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know when they'll finally flip the switch for me to get this thing monetized so I can put the super chat back down there, because I know that's a lot more convenient. But I do appreciate the ones of you who are taking the extra step to keep supporting the channel through that PayPal in the meantime. It really means a lot to both me and BVD. I've told you before, but we split the revenue on these morning shows. So really, really appreciate it, guys. Celine Driver, Robert W., Chris C., Slim Shady Canes, almost said your name. Anyway, I really, really appreciate it. Now, those of you that have been tuning in, especially over the last couple of weeks, the whole point of going 5 days a week, and BADDOG, what BADDOG said reinforces what the decision me and BVD made. But a lot of people are out of work, out of school, whatever the case. Schedules are thrown up in the air because of this coronavirus thing. So we normally do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I said, well, let's see if we can do it 5 days a week. Maybe there'll be some people that can catch the show that don't normally get to catch it because, unfortunately, they're out of work or working from home or whatever the case. So, and you guys have been great, tuning in almost every morning. Some of you tune in every morning. So it's been great. I really, really appreciate it. So shout out to all you guys that stuck around to the end today. Bears, Cubs, Canes, Jordan Bowman, Goose Sports, Caleb Kidd, Christy, Celine Driver. BADDOG's dog is here. Bark, bark, bark. Yeah, good morning. Dane McAllister, Kevin Cook, Caleb Kidd, Waikiki, Jarvis S. Really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. I always enjoy talking to BADDOG. He's funny, he's entertaining, but besides that, you can tell he's a good guy. So I consider myself lucky to be able to get him on here a few times a year for you guys to talk with us in the morning. So, all right, what's today? Is today Friday? Is it really Friday already? Yep. Dang. Gotta wait. Gotta wait all the way till Monday now for another morning show. But hey, it's Easter weekend. Today is Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to all of you out there. Enjoy your Easter. We're gonna celebrate Easter tomorrow, Saturday, because there's a 90% chance of rain here all day on Sunday. So we've got some stuff planned for the kids for tomorrow, and do all our Easter stuff tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy Easter. Be a little different this year, probably. If you normally go to church, maybe you can't, or maybe you normally have a huge family get together and you can't, or whatever. But if you're the type of person that Easter really means something to you, then in the end, it doesn't really matter how you celebrate Easter as long as you celebrate it. The meaning hasn't changed. It's just how you're able to celebrate it has changed. So anyway, I hope y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you back here next week. Have a good morning.